Well, the DHCP protocol we have assigns addresses to stuff as it comes on the network, right? Now, when you think about it, it's really useful if you find out that something shows up on the network. If you have a very large estate, you're using combined infrastructure, you've got IoT devices going on, people don't tell you when stuff shows up on the network. They just plug it in, right? And they see if it'll work. So when we know about that, that's a useful piece of information. That bank in Connecticut, they really wanted the integration with Qualys, so when something comes on the network, we signal Qualys and they go out and scan it. It's like really, really simple, except it's not happening. I was at a security conference in New York. It was about 6 weeks ago. I was on a panel with a Mandiant guy, right? So Mandiant's now owned by FireEye, but this is a Mandiant guy. He's the guy who goes in and does the investigations when there's some big data breach, right? And he has to go back, and the normal thing that they're asked to do is go find out how it started, right? Go find out. Turns out it was like Ricardo's machine when he took a visit to Brazil 6 months ago or whatever, and from there it spread, and then that's what they want, frankly, for their money. And he said to the entire audience, look, a lot of times we fail in that kind of analysis and incident response because the logging information is not there inside the customer environment to figure out what the hell happened. It's as simple as that. They're not magicians, right? So you have to start with an audit trail of what's going on the network. What devices are showing up, who's using them, what IP addresses they're doing. Very basic stuff. You go into organizations, you say, do you have this problem nailed? Can you show me that historical record of the devices on the network and who was using them and what IP addresses they got, so I can correlate logs and do incident response and do troubleshooting? I'm telling you, at least 9 times out of 10, they cannot answer that question, right up to the very, very biggest organizations. An easy win. The next one, I think, is kind of the most, surprising, least known one. It was mentioned in an earlier presentation, which is the IPAM database. IPAM database sounds like so boring and lame. It's like, I got an address space, I'm going to put the 3 addresses here, and these ones are for the routers, and that one's for the data center. Who cares? Who cares? But when you go talk to our customers, what you find out is that they put these metadata tags on that database. And remember that the addresses that they're assigning tend to be the most valuable assets in their environment. The servers in the data center, the applications, the databases, the network equipment, all the good stuff is in that database, and they tag it with business context. Who the actual owner is, the ticket that was used to open the request to put this thing on the network, the actual physical location, which can be very hard to figure out otherwise. I was at a customer, I'm not making this up, I was at a customer in Cincinnati on the way out here, and those guys, they write software, a huge multinational, you guys all have heard of them. They write software, and they have different networks. They have like a brown network and a green network. I don't know, like brown, but anyway, brown, green, black, blue. Blue, green, brown. And one of them, I forget which one, so I won't lie, is like the secure one where they do all the software development, and the other one's for like guests, and the other's like for everybody else. They tag the assets with that kind of information, right? So you've got this gold mine of data sitting there, which is, here's all the valuable assets, there's business context, it's available via APIs, and you can use that to determine the risk. And I'll tell you, with security people, what you will find is they will all say, listen, I get tons of alerts. I was at that conference, there was another guy on the panel, he goes, yeah, we get like 30,000 events a day, we work on about 7 or 8. That's what he said. So how do you prioritize them?